So my name is Salomon Stroh. I work in, and I founded, and I am the CEO of Taxi TV. That's in Colombia, South America. We're a company focused on ad-based networks, digital out-of-home, and we're looking to increase our number of screens in taxis and give more services to passengers, to drivers, definitely to advertisers. My experience in the Digital Signage Expo has been very interesting. This is my second time here. This time I was invited as a speaker. So it has been very nice. I've seen the growth of the industry in terms of hardware, software, integrators, and some interesting ideas. We can see the development is coming. Not very fast, but it's coming, so it's very good. Also, the seminars have been very interesting. We were participating on a seminar of international speakers from one. I was representing Latin America, of giving a point of view of that region. And there were people from everywhere of the world, so it was very interesting. In terms of what we are seeing in digital signage in our country, it's interesting because we have some threats in terms of developing digital signage networks in Colombia, in an undeveloped country. But at the same time, we have some opportunities, very interesting one. For example, we can look up at the US, at Europe, and see exactly what they're doing and learn from it, learn from their mistakes. But at the same time, we have some issues to face. For example, security issues. In our case, in Taxi TV, we have some issues regarding the displays, the security of them, vandalism. So we have to think a little bit more of just installing a display and selling ads. In that sense, it's very interesting. We've seen some development, still very small, but some of the countries like Brazil and maybe Mexico are doing things very, very well, and we're trying to get to that level. In the world, in the US and in Europe, I think it will impact as it's impacting every industry in the world, in the economic world. So I think it will. In our case, in Latin America, the economic crisis will maybe be less strong. We're not having any crisis yet, and hopefully we won't have. We will feel some of the impact, but we won't have any real crisis. So that's very important and give us an opportunity to continue growing. In the rest of the world, I think it will slow a little bit. It will make it a little bit slower, the development of this industry. That's what I think. Yeah, for me, some of the features that we're looking for and that are important for us is there are touch screens, small displays, obviously, and also specific things like GPS triggered ads. That for us is very important and still not very developed. It needs a lot of work, and still we're looking for that. The competition that we face in our country, you can analyze it differently. I mean, in one sense, we have all the media, the other advertising media, traditional ones that still get most of the ads and the investment, definitely. Then we have out of home, where we compare directly to billboards, traditional billboards, where we have made some research and some studies that we show that we're very efficient compared to them. It doesn't mean we cannot share campaigns, but we are also an interesting media. That's the message, bottom line. and then we have a lot of digital signage companies, digital out-of-home networks. There's one that has 9 channels. It's called En Medio. It's a very interesting and important network in Colombia. Then we have another one that is called On TV, and is in public transportation, buses. Then we have in convenience stores, some of them in retail, some in the airports, and quite a few in digital billboards, big screens. So, but we're trying to work together, not as competition, because the market to digital signage or digital out-of-home is still very small. So for us, our main objective, first of all, is let's aggregate ourselves, work together, grow the industry, and then we'll fight for the real numbers. I would just like to add that this is a very important fair expo. I hope it continues on strongly, every time a little bit more. I will suggest a little bit more involvement with international, all international international companies, international speakers, international attendees, definitely. So that will be my advice, and also international themes. In the seminars are very interesting, and we learn a lot from them, but they're very focused on the US industry, maybe US and Canada. I think it will be very interesting if the idea is to make it more international, Asia, Europe, Middle East, and definitely Latin America, that we can relate to those topics also, that we can understand their languages, and that's a little bit different in any part of the world. So in a general way, it's the same thing. It's the same way agencies work, advertisers, networks, and all of us. But there are some particularities, interests that are very interesting to focus on, and that will definitely get a more international audience interested in the expo. Not a particular topic, but what I mean is that, for example, if there's a seminar of the agency perspective on digital out-of-home networks, let me give you an example. In the US, it's very developed, the idea of out-of-home agencies, or inside a big agency, the out-of-home division. That, in theory, happens also in our country or in our region, in theory. The reality is that you have to go and sell the ads and sell your network to the same people that buy traditional media. So that in particular, that doesn't work exactly the same. So we were in a seminar where we had a girl from an agency, and she gave her perspective and how she measured us and how she bought this kind of networks. And I was always feeling that doesn't happen in our country. You know, in our country, maybe you have to go to the same guy that buys TV ads. So how do we approach that? No, how do we approach the lady that buys digital out of home? And that's very important. Maybe because we're a little bit less developed in this kind of things, or in this industry. But an example as that, it would be very interesting to have things all over the world. My name is Salomon Stroh. I'm the CEO of Taxi TV, Colombia. I'm at the DSE, Digital Signage Expo. Sign up, sign on, it's all here. Hola, mi nombre es Salomon Stroh, soy el gerente de Taxi TV. Estoy en la Digital Signage Expo. Los invito a que vengan, a que conozcan esta industria. Es muy interesante, aporta mucho y vale la pena. Shalom, אני סלומון סטרו מטקסי TV קולומביה. זה דיג'יטל סיינג' אקספו. תבוא לפה, זה חשוב מאוד. אם זה חשוב בשבילך, בשביל החברה שלך.